This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so yesterday we looked at, you know, started looking at different kinds of charts, and we looked at what is a heat map, what is a tree map, and we also looked at how do we plot histogram. That was in the other slide. Histogram, heat map, tree map, right? So today let us go and learn some of the other charts as well. Now, I'm talking about something like, how do we create a bar chart? There are different kinds of bar charts we can, create. Um, Line chart, pie chart, right? And there is a word cloud and bubble chart, reference lines and bands, and how do you create a tabular visualization in Tableau, right? So all those things we will be seeing. And as I said, today I'll give two projects basically, since we won't be having any session on Saturday and Sunday. So I wanted to, give enough time for you all to work on those projects. Yeah. So what I'll do is today quickly show all these different options how to do it. I'll give couple of I'll ask you all to do couple of charts, but just see today, just concentrate on how I'm creating those, and then you can work on those projects and hands-on exercises on Saturday and Sunday. On Monday we can look at all your questions. So while working, when you faced any questions on this weekend, so we can look at on Monday. Okay. Now let me go the dashboard. Okay. Now let me insert a new sheet, and everyone is aware of how do we plot a bar chart, right? So let's say if I'm dragging this sales date, which is a numeric column, and if I want to look at the profit, or else let me take year here, sorry, and profit here, right? So everyone knows how do we plot a bar chart. So from this drop down, you can select this bar. So all the numerical, all the date fields, by default, they plot a line chart. So that's why you see that, by default, it's a line chart. But you take any other character columns, let's say, by item category, you wanted profit, it creates a bar chart. But, you know, since it's a date, always we look at, the trend, right? When we, talk about the date, like year over year, month over year, month over month, and so on. So we plotted a line chart, but you can obviously change it. From this drop down, select a bar chart. So I've dragged, sales date and profit, and I have selected a bar chart here, and you could see that, okay, how is your profit in 2012, how is your profit in 2013, 14, and 15. Now you can also do a line chart. So I'll go to the drop down and say line chart. Now I want the numbers to be displayed here. I want the numbers to be displayed. So what I'll do, I'll drag this profit and put it onto the labels. You see those numbers? Those are the profit numbers. Now we can also do something like year of sale. So whenever I have dragged a date field onto the columns, you see that it applied a year function. So in SAS, you must have learned about year, month, quarter, right? All those functions, day functions. So there is a plus icon here. If I expand it, see, that means in this 2012, it was a year of sale. in this quarter, there are 2 months. So you're not writing any code. So automatically, when you're expanding it, since it's a date field, it applied these functions. Would these year, quarter, month function would Tableau apply to, let's say, item category column? No, right? Because that is a character column. Okay. And if I want to, drill down more, like month, day also, like particular day. So this means in 2012, in quarter one, in January 1st. So January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, till 9th. How is your trend? How is your profit? Right? So I will go and minimize it. So I just want to look at my year. So what I did, I selected line chart. I can also select a pie chart, right? So in 2012, how is your profit? This is what the pie chart is. But pie charts are meant for, looking at it, in a different way. Let's say now I'll drag this department onto the colors. Well, this is not the actual pie chart, right? This is not the actual pie chart. So let me go. Okay. So now if you see, so I've dragged department onto the colors, sum of profit onto the labels, and selected a pie chart. So each color in this pie represents a department. So this is for audit, this is for accounting, this is for sales, this is for finance. In this way, you can create a pie chart. So there are other charts, we will see them also. Everyone understood any questions? So we have looked at bar chart, we have looked at line chart, we have looked at pie chart. One of the simplest way of doing it is if you select any column. If you select any column and you want profit, rather than you go and drag it, what you want to do, you can go to show me and you want a pie chart, right? And then since you're looking at profit, you also want it those numbers to be displayed on the next to the pie chart. You can drag it to the labels. This is a shorter method of doing it. Other method is, you can also create different kinds of bar charts. So this is a horizontal bar chart, right? This is all in one, like one bar showing all the departments. So this is for sales, this is for finance, this is for audit, this is for accounting. Different ways of creating it. Any questions anyone have? So just try to understand, all these steps you have to perform in the project. So I'll walk through the project today. Okay, now let us see how do you create a table in Excel. How you create, okay, this is column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. You have the rows, you create a table and you send it to the end users in a tabular. It could also be possible, right? It's not always like you will create a bar chart or a line chart or a pie chart. You can also create a table, right? Okay, so pie chart once again. Okay, see what I did is I will erase these out. See, this is the icon, everyone. Once you have built this, you want to erase everything. So manually, rather than you go and remove it, each and everything. If you want to erase complete thing, you can go here and say clear sheet. Everything will get erased. So what I did is I've selected department, I've selected profit, I went to show me and did this pie chart. I've selected this. It plotted a pie chart. So every pie, every color is a department. How I got to know? Because this coloring is coming from this department, because department was dragged to this colors section. Now the size of the pie depends on the profit, right? Size of the pie depends on the profit. Now let me drag this profit onto the labels. You would see those numbers also. You see that this pie is bigger. The red one, which is for finance, is bigger because the profit is high. Got it? Okay. Now let me go and create a table. So you don't want to create any of the charts. You want a plain table, how we create in an Excel, or you can imagine like in SAS, proc print or proc report, how you create a table, right? That's it, a table. Now here also we can do it. So if I drag this sales date, if I drag this sales date, we are seeing all these years. Now by each year, I want to look at, let's say, let me take item category. So what I did, I dragged sales date, I've dragged item category, but now as you see, there is ABC here because I've not dragged any of the numeric column, isn't it? So what we will do, let's say I want profit, I'll drag it on the text label. Now you would see this in a tabular way, right? So can you all create this table? So there are two different ways of creating a table. So I want at least, you all create this table. Can you all do this? So load the sales data. I'm sure you must be already be having. So go and drag the sales date, go and drag the item category, go and drag the profit. You should see this in a table. And let me know once you're done.
Very good morning, sir. I have a small doubt over here, one general question. So in the measure sections,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
tell me.
able to find the in the measure sections, I'm not able to find the profit. Uh, so how can I do that? I'm
Yeah,
checking sales amount, sales
yeah. So this
cost, and sales
profit,
quantity.
yeah, yeah. So this profit
Okay,
was
okay, okay.
newly created column. So it is not there in the sales. It is not there. So on that day, while explaining everything statements, I must have created this profit.
Okay, 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 fine, fine, fine. Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
But instead of profit, you want to, just looking at the data, right? You can drag any other column. That's fine.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay.
Now, how do we identify? That's a good point. How do we identify that, okay, which are coming from the data and which are the ones which we have created? So if you see next to the hash symbol, there is an equal to. It's very small, but you could see that difference in the hash. Sales amount hash, but there's nothing equal to, but next to profit, there is an equal to. So this means whenever you see equal to, that means we have created it. So if you see sales underscore 10 also, we have. So whenever you see, equal to in front of any of the logo, that you need to be very clear that, okay, those are the ones which we have created it. Got it? That is the trick. Yeah, done with this. Can you all ping in the chat window if you're done? Please, I can move forward. Okay. Now, now the question I have for everyone is, On this table, how many measures I am looking at? Can anyone answer? How many measures I am looking at in this table? What are measures you already know? Yeah, now we are saying one, and which is that measure are the numeric columns, right? Profit. But what if you want a table, you want a table like, okay, so you have, you know, department, you have category, you want sales, you want quantity, you want profit, and so on. So I'm talking about having multiple numeric columns, multiple measures. This is how you will have. And later on, we will see all the formatting. Okay, so don't worry about the formatting right now. So how we do it in Excel, giving the column headers, border colors, and everything we can do it in Tableau. Okay, we will see that. Now, let me insert a new sheet because the problem here is if I go and drag the sales amount onto the text, you see it will be like this, one below the other. One is profit, the other is sales amount. If I drag, sales quantity, it will be like third one. But this is how we want, right? We want it in the columnar way. So I'll go here. Let's say I'm looking at channel type, and I'm looking at by each of the department, okay, and I'm looking at item category. Now, next to it, I want profit. It was pretty much simple. You dragged it, but if you drag sales amount onto the text, you see this is what is happening, which I showed now. Now, how do we have those as multiple columns? So profit should be one column, sales should be other column, sales quantity should be the third column, and so on. Now, there's a different method of doing. So I'll remove it. So what I will do here is there's something called as measure names and measure values. So these two options will come whenever you load any data. For any data, you will see these two options for sure. It is not there in the data, this sales, but Tableau, you know, creates these two options. Now, what I'll do is when I'm dragging these measure names onto the filters, so what are we seeing here? What are these, all these things? All these things are the measures, right? All the measures. It is not showing department, it is not showing item name, it is not showing channel, all the character columns. It is just showing the numeric columns. I repeat, I'll go to this measure names and drag it onto the filters. It is showing this. Now, which are the columns which I am interested in? Which are the columns I'm interested in? Profit. I'm interested in sales amount, quantity, sales cost, and sales quantity. Four columns I want it here on the table. I've selected those four and do OK. Now still it is not coming up because how I was dragging one column onto the text, right? So let me do this here. So what I did, I repeat, measure values, I have dragged it onto the text. So over here, it is showing those four columns which you have selected, right, in the filter section. So what I was expecting is all these four columns to be displayed like this. But what is happening? All those four column values are getting overlapped in one column. What is happening? Why is it happening? Because it this now this measure values has a list of columns. It's not only one column, it has list of columns, these four columns. So I'll drag these measure names onto the columns. If it was only one column, it would have showed, but now it has list of columns. I have to drag these measure names so that I could see those multiple column, four columns here. Can you all try this out? So this method is useful when you want to show multiple measures on a table. Try this out. I'll give a couple of minutes. Because you know what is the challenge by creating with the other way, you could always drag one column. So if you want multiple numeric columns, make use of these measure names and measure values. So look at my screen and drag the columns accordingly. Let me know if you face any issue. Let me know once you're done.
I have a quick question,
Yeah.
instead of dragging measure names, so I tried to drag measure values. So even when I've dragged measure values, it automatically converted into measure names. Is there a particular reason why Tableau has done that?
Okay, what you're saying, we have drag measure values onto
Yeah,
columns.
columns. Yeah, and I've
Yeah.
converted into a table chart. So in show me,
We have
I've converted into a table in using show me.
show me. Okay, okay, okay. See, when you drag measure values here, because all, these columns which you are talking about are the numeric columns, right? So numeric columns, it understood, okay, I need to create a bar chart. So here you are saying, right? Text table?
Yeah, yeah. It has
Yeah,
again,
yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
So what is your question?
So how so even the drag measure values when I've created into a if I converted into from a bar graph into a table chart, how is Tableau understanding that I should change measure values into measure names? So I did not get that part.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So when you're taking this as a table, when you're clicking on this table, you see at the bottom it says for text tables, try one or more dimension, one or more
Oh,
measure. It is giving some
yeah.
hint below. That means for
Mhm.
creating a table, you should have at least, one dimension. That
Yeah,
means, those character columns. Mhm.
I have used dimensions in the rows, right? So channel type is a dimension and other two are also dimensions, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So this is a measure, right?
Yes.
So it also requires one or more measures. Okay. So when you drag the measure values, the actual values, previously previously, it converted to a bar chart. But when
Yeah.
you are going and selecting as a table, so this is not a table, right? It understands that, okay, when it is measure values, I'm looking at the numeric columns, I have to create a bar chart. So when you want it as a text, what it will do is it will take this measure names into consideration for creating this table. It will work automatically.
Okay.
Okay, but you don't have to worry about all those things.
Okay.
Okay, Tableau will do it for us. Okay. Okay, now let me go. So we have looked at what is a bar chart, we have looked at a line chart, we have looked at a pie chart, we have looked at a table. Now there's something called as word cloud and bubble chart. So if I go here, word cloud. So I'm sure you must have seen on the internet something like this. So this is a word cloud. So arranging the data like this in the form of words. This is a bubble chart. So you saw small circles, like these are the bubbles. Now how do we get those? So word cloud is useful to visualize the text data. For example, if you're looking for top trending hashtags in Twitter, right, you can use the word cloud. Bubble charts displays data as a cluster of circles. Okay, now let me go here. So let me see if there is any column. Okay, let me take customer names, right? So let me drag the customer name onto the text. So whenever you drag any column onto the text, you would see those values, right? So if you drag customer name onto the color, every customer would assign a different color, right? But in this case, let me drag it onto the labels. Now let me drag the sales onto the size. You would see like this. Now what I will do is I'll go here and I will select text. Simple. So you drag customer names, you look at what are the customer names. I have not introduced a numeric column, I'm dragging it onto the quantity, but it created this tree map kind of a thing, but I don't want a tree map. What I'll do, I will go and say text. Now, what is the meaning of this? Some of the text font is high, some of the customer names font is low. What do you think, anyone?
Font size depends upon the sales quantity, maybe.
Yeah, the font size depends on the sales quantity because I've dragged sales quantity. Now, let me go and say the profit. Now, I want to have a different view. Profit, I'm dragging it onto the colors. Now, this gives a different picture. What picture this gives?
Higher profit, more the color. Darker.
Correct. So there are two things which are running on. One is size, other is color. So if you see that Ramesh, the size is good compared to all the other text. Size is good. The color is also dark. That means sales is good as well as the profit is good. If you compare the same thing with Prasad, even size is somewhat little bit lower than Ramesh, but you see it is not that dark as Ramesh. That means even if we are doing good in terms of sales, but in terms of profit, we are not doing that great. The same goes with Pawan, Charan, and so on. So Suresh, what do you think? if you see, the sales are good, but in terms of profit, we're not doing that good. So this is called a word cloud. So representing the data like this. So now the data is not, we don't have a lot of data. Otherwise, you would have seen like this. So let me take any other column if I have. Let me say employee name instead of customer name, something like this. So I have a lot of employee names and there, which employee is doing good in terms of sales and profit, getting the profit. So if you have, lot many data points in that column, then it will look like this. Can you all try this out? Drag and see, even if you're not getting, that's fine. But at least drag and, follow me on the steps. So this kind of a view would help if you're looking at large data and you want to have crux of the data, like, okay, like which customers is giving more sales, or which products in the bank are giving the more sales, something like this.
When I keep my cursor on that name, then it shows the profit text two times. What's the reason for that? Not in yours, in my screen.
Yeah, so you must have dragged two times, I guess. Go to tooltip. So when we are taking the mouse over, it is showing, that box, right? That is coming from the tooltip when we mouse over. You see, do you see profit two times? If you see profit two times, remove it once. Remove one line
Yes.
of profit.
You're saying I should go to tooltip.
Tooltip.
I haven't
And
dragged
see
any.
if there are two.
I haven't dragged any tool in tooltip. Any field on tooltip.
No, no. In the marks card, there is a tooltip option. Go and click on it, tooltip, and see if there are two entries for profit.
Yes, yes, there is two times profit in the tooltip. I should remove one,
Yeah, so
right?
remove one. So if you line multiple, yeah, one, yeah. So remove that entire line, profit to the end, one line.
And in that there was one was profit and one was sum of profit. Means when it's profit, means how it's calculating. One person on the one person means there should be one profit or multiple items. It's the reason is that he might have purchased multiple items because of which it's showing that
Mm-hmm.
total profit on that. Is that the reason? One is the profit and
Yeah,
one is the sum.
no, no. See, in our chart, how this tooltip works, whatever columns you drag for creating this chart, you know, why it gave sum of profit? Because you have used sum of profit in this marks card. It is showing sum of sales quantity because you have dragged sales quantity. So whichever columns you use it on your chart, those columns would show up in the tooltip by default. Now, how this is working, we are looking at employee names, right? Employee names. So it is grouping by employee names. Am I looking at item category and all that? No, right? So for each of the employee, if he has done purchase 10 items, we are clubbing them, right? We are clubbing them and showing the profit. I'm not saying that, okay, for Kaushik, if 10 items, are we showing, those 10 items? No, right? We are clubbing all the sales quantity by Kaushik and showing it. So this tooltips helps, whenever we are taking, because from this chart, am I going to know that, okay, how much is the sales quantity for Kaushik? It is just showing in terms of size and color. But when the user takes the mouse over, they will come to know, okay, 152 is the quantity, 1001 is the profit, something like this. Got it, Pooja?
Yes, yeah.
Done till here. Now let me duplicate this, and now instead of text, I'll go and select circle. I repeat, instead of text, go and select circle. This is what? A bubble chart. You would see all these circles, these bubbles. This is called a bubble chart. Can you all try this out? Done? Obviously, you can find these options in the show me also. Can you see this
It's
bubble
done,
chart?
sir.
You can also find it. Okay. Okay. Now
Sir, there are some
let's
empty
go
bubbles.
to the
What is that
project.
meaning?
So
Hello.
yeah, yeah. So
We have not given any name for that, right?
go
So what is
here,
the meaning
right?
of the bubbles? Yeah.
Yeah, there is a name. There is a name, but the name is big enough to fit into that circle. There will be some circles. You see
Oh,
Rahul Dravid, and the circle size is less. Mushtaq Ahmad, that name got printed because the circle size was big here, and the circle size depends on the quantity. This guy has done more quantity, but since Rahul Dravid, Rahul and DRAVID, it is not fitting in this circle. But there will be some circles, small circles. But when you take the mouse, we will come to know, right? That will be there. Now, let me spend some time on explaining the project. It's already 7:45. Okay, on the Google Drive link, I have uploaded two projects under projects folder. Okay, so these are the dashboards: US Superstore and too big to fail banks. Now, what you will do, you will download this first on the weekend. You will download these two. It will be having in your systems. We'll go to Tableau Public. File and open that US Superstore. Okay, when you will do that, it will look like this. It will look like this. Now, let me tell you, at the top there is a presentation mode F7. If you click on this presentation mode, you will only see the actual view. That means you will not see all the dimensions and measures, right? If you go to the presentation mode, you will see the actual, the visualization. You will not see dimensions, measures, all those development options. Now, what is our objective from this project is we want to build this. That means you want to create this table, you want to create all these different charts. I have not told map, but at least give it a try, but by looking at it, and we will talk on Monday. Now, how do you proceed? We want to build this. Now, all these things put together is called a dashboard. But how do you do the development, actual development? We have not seen, how do we bring all these things together. There is the topic. We will see that. But how do you do now is you build each and every chart in a sheet, how we did right now. Now, if I go to sales by supplier, when you will open it, the data is already there. So you don't have to import the data. So the data is already there. Now what I want you all to do is, There's a sales by supplier, right? You want to build this table. Now, right click and insert a new worksheet. And let's say sales by supplier. If Pooja is working on it, you rename it with your name, Pooja. Now, what I want is by looking at this, we want to replicate the same thing here. Now, how do we do that? Okay, you would see that supplier, we have to drag it to the rows. So supplier, so where is supplier? You need to drag it to the rows. You will do that. Now the next thing is they have dragged measure values, measure names, and there's something called as metric selection. Now you always look whenever you are dragging any column by referring to the sheets. If there is a metric selection, go and search for metric selection where it is this. This is a parameter, right? Now don't use this metric selection. What you do is you create one new, but before doing this you want to see what is there in this. You can go and click on this edit and you can create in the similar way. Now I hope I did not tell how do you create a parameter, right? You know where to find those options, but these options will be reference for you. So you will enter 1 2 3 4 5, you will enter these, they will say okay, you will, you can say something like okay metric selection underscore Pooja. That is your parameter name, new parameter which you're creating. Because what I want is don't use, you know, the parameters and calculated fields as is. So what I want, if there is a parameter or if there is any calculated field, I want you to recreate from the scratch. There's no point, right? Okay, this metric selection is already there in the data. I'll just go and use this metric selection and say show parameter control. But here you are missing on how do you create a parameter. So I want, everyone to build a new parameter and everything is there in front of you. Okay, so if you get stuck somewhere, you can always go and check okay how they did in the other sheet. Like that, you'll keep on creating each and every sheet. So this is sales by supplier you have replicated, Pooja. This is other sales by customer segment. Don't duplicate, don't duplicate and rename it. Okay, I'm kidding, but recreate it from the scratch. So right click, new worksheet. It will be empty worksheet. Now you copy and give the name. And look at this. How did they try to wrap? Like this, you keep on doing for each sheet. You keep on doing for each and every sheet. So there will be some options, which I haven't talked about, but I want you all to explore by looking at the existing sheets. So sometimes you see that, okay, I'm not getting the way, it is there in the original sheet. You go and always look for some options. So when you drag two columns here, you always look, okay, why I'm not getting, you would see, okay, these are the two options enabled. This is continuous, this is dual axis. In my case, this option is not selected. Go and select that option and see. That is how you will explore and learn. Okay, now what is uh, my expectation, before Monday is you build, don't how do we, create a dashboard like this, arranging, but I want all of you to create all these sheets on your own by referring to the existing one. So if I go here, so how many sheets we have is, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 sheets I am giving you. You have to create 6 more sheets. So there will be 12 sheets here, And then on Monday, bring any questions you have while building them. We will discuss that and we will continue with the new topics. That is one. This is one. So any questions on this US Superstore dashboard? Are you clear what you're supposed to do on weekends? And hardly it will not take much time. Okay, if you just spend half an hour to 45 minutes, it should be done. Now this is on the US Superstore. There's also one more I have uploaded, is too big to fail banks. So that also you will download it and open it. It's pretty much simple. This is only creating two sheets. So this is one sheet, this is other sheet. So number of banks and assets, you want to create a chart like this. You right click, insert a new sheet and try to replicate it. In the similar way, this one also you will insert and try to replicate it. How do we arrange this? We will see when we reach those topics. Getting it, any questions on these two projects which I have uploaded? Are you clear what you're supposed to do? So on Monday, I want everyone to come up, and I can ask anyone to share their screen and show what they have done. And let me tell you, even if you go wrong, that's fine. I want active participation from everyone. At least give it a try. If you get stuck, I am there to help you out. Okay. So any other last minute questions before we end? I know it's 7:54, so we'll be connecting back on Monday. So all the recorded sessions I have been uploading. So if you want to, revise, if you want to get any specific video of the day, you can go and, look at those videos also. I know some of you were asking about those hands-on exercises. Someone was asking. So, let us look at that on Monday. So one of the other thing, if you are done, so the very first task is work on these projects, okay, on the weekend. Once you're done with that, all the slides I have been uploading as we are going. After each and every topic, there are hands-on exercises for you. Please work on those hands-on exercises also if you want some, additional practice. Okay, so we will end for today. So please work on those projects and hands-on exercises. And yeah, is there any question, Rahul?
The problem is like I'm not receiving the invitation to view the sessions.
I did not get you. What you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not receiving the link mail I have received till 23rd Jan,
Uh-huh.
but after that like on 24th,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So,
I missed the yesterday session.
oh, okay. So you're saying you're not receiving emails
Yeah, like
of the meeting, of
I
our
thought
sessions?
yeah, like on 24th, yesterday I thought like there was no session, so I haven't attended because I haven't received an email. And today also I haven't received, but I just tried
Oh,
the link which I have received on 23rd, and I was able to join.
oh, okay.
So even I did not receive
Okay. So
anything.
can you like
And
okay.
I've dropped
So
the mail
actually yesterday looks like
6 o'clock
Ram.
today.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
actually
I'll just
yesterday, all the emails which you all get, right? Those emails
yeah.
Ram sends it. Ram. But looks like
Okay.
he forgot to send for today. Generally he sends for each and every session.
Okay.
So what I would say is Rahul, you have a contact number of Ram, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So just contact him, ping him, and say that you're not receiving the emails, and he will add you in that email list, and you will receive it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
But generally, we will have sessions, but think if you don't get, sometimes it happens, due to some reasons we are not having sessions, you will get that email that today there is no session. If you are not getting that, right, generally we will have the session.
Yeah, and sometimes like
Okay.
the session ID might change, so that's why I haven't tried yesterday. But today, like I have
Right, right.
opened the mail using the 23rd, like with the session, and with that link I was
Yeah,
able to join.
yeah, the session ID did not expire. So that session ID did not expire. That's why we are using the same link. Maybe after four,
Okay,
five
okay,
days
sure.
that will expire. So then, you
Okay,
might need the new one. So better like inform Ram. He will mark you in all the emails.
okay,
Yeah.
sure. Thank you.
And if you don't get it, just call Ram before, if you did not get anything, any email, just call him, ping him and say, is there any session or not? He will help you
Okay, okay,
out.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, and the session which you have missed, Rahul, like on 24th, right, yesterday, just go through this video. Just go through this video
yeah,
and you
I
can
have
let
gone
me
through
know if
all
you
that.
have
I
any
have gone through it. Yeah,
gone through, right? Okay. Great.
yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you.
thank you everyone. So please spend time working on the projects and hands-on exercises. Happy weekend, and we will connect on Monday. Thank you.